Good evening, everybody. This is the Carver Zoning Board of Appeals for the date of December 16, 2025. And for the first time ever, we're meeting in the conference room at the Carver Police Station. This is nice. It's certainly more spacious than the rooms that we sit in at the Carver Town Hall, although those are nice rooms too. What we're going to do is, first of all, acknowledge the presence of Area 58. We're happy that they are with us again, and happy holidays to you and everyone who may be viewing this on cable TV. What I'd like to do is begin with an administrative matter, as is our custom, and that is a review of the minutes from our last meeting. It is my practice to review these minutes in draft form before we actually have our formal board meeting, and then I distribute them to everybody in advance so that they can review them and make decisions on their own without consultation with anybody else as to any changes, amendments, or modifications they'd like to make. So has everyone had a chance to review those minutes that I've sent over in advance of the meeting tonight?
Yes.
Yes.
Does anyone like to make any changes, amendments, or modifications?
Yes. I saw something, a reread just as I was sitting down here on page 2.
Yes, sir.
The second paragraph from the bottom, just a minor wording usage. Says Mr. Baston stated that he thought of a redesign if he did not need to sprinkle it.
Right.
Obviously, what he means there, if he did not have to construct a sprinkler system.
Well, sprinkle is a word, but if you'd like to change the terminology, anybody want to change the terminology?
I think it sounds funny the way it's written.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we want to change it to, if you do not need a sprinkle system,
Sprinkler.
sprinkler system.
If he did not
Okay.
need
That changes it.
Does anyone else want to make any changes, amendments, or modifications?
No?
Nope.
No, everybody good?
Yep.
So with that one small amendment in mind, do I hear a motion to approve these minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Good. So those meeting minutes are approved. We will now move to our case for this evening, and I would ask the board member to my left, Mr. Poirier, to read into the record the public hearing notice.
Public hearing, case 29-9-B1-R. Petitioner Ronald Menard requesting a special permit and a dimensional variance pursuant to sections 290-2-2.4, E3, 290-2-3.2, and 290-5-2.2 of the Carver zoning bylaw for property located at 2 Wenham Shores Drive in Carver, Mass. Assessors map 42, lot 2-0-R, so as to construct a detached 1,020 square foot garage. 700 square feet is allowed as of right, and a rear setback variance of 19 feet. 50 feet is required in the residential agricultural district.
Thank you. Where is Mr. Menard?
Hi,
Here, Mr. Menard.
Mr. Miller again.
Hello. Nice to see you both. I want to make both of you aware tonight that we are sitting as a board of 4. That's still a quorum. We typically have 5, and we're actively pursuing a 5th member at this point in time who is not yet committed completely. to coming on. And we have some other folks in mind as well. Now, I'm taking the opportunity to tell you this, both, because if we sit as a board, as a board of 4, our decision must be unanimous for you to get the relief you are requesting. It's got to be a 4-0 vote. If we sit as a board of 5, which is our full complement, then you have to have at least 4 of us vote in favor. Okay, it does not have to be unanimous, but it has to be 80%, no less than 4-1. So I'm going to throw it over to you folks and ask you if you prefer to go forward this evening, or whether you would prefer to go forward in January, hopefully when we have our 5th member on board. If you need a few minutes to discuss this, then feel free to take that time, and we will suspend briefly so that you can have that discussion out of our earshot.
I don't think that's necessary. I think the facts are not going to change, whether you have 4 members or 5 members to the board. So I think they're self-evident, and I'm prepared to go forward tonight, if that's okay.
Well, you have to turn your head to your left.
She blessed me already.
All right, so if it is your preference to go forward on the merits this evening, then we will do so. And I personally have quite a few questions on this. And the first one, and I'm sure anybody else, if I were not asking this question, would probably ask it straight away anyway, is your legal address is 2 Wyndham Shores Drive. Is that true?
Correct.
Your front door, though, faces Plymouth Street. Is that true?
Correct.
How is it that you end up with Wyndham Shores Road as your legal address, or Wyndham Shores Drive as your legal address?
My wife can speak to that better than I can, as she built the house back in 1985.
When I had
You
the house,
you see how he's throwing you under the bus?
when I had the house built in 1985, I did request that my address would be Plymouth Street.
Mhm.
And I was told it could not be Plymouth Street because the front door faced Wyndham Shores Drive. That's how I ended up to Wyndham Shores Drive.
Okay, but I'm looking at this map here, and thank you for bringing it along. It looks to me like the front faces Plymouth Street, if I'm looking at this correctly.
I thought the same thing,
We
but
would
I
agree.
was told no.
I beg your pardon?
We would agree.
And who told you that it wasn't facing the front?
Oh, I don't remember, that was back in 1985.
I understand. I can't remember what I did yesterday. But this is an engineered plan that I'm looking at, and it does appear, I think these are front steps. You want to come up here with me for a minute? Look at the camera, say hello. Are these the front steps?
Yes.
So if you look out this way, the front appears to be
Right.
Plymouth
So,
Street
I
and
know.
not over here.
I know, that was
This
my
is the
ad-
side of your house over here on
Right,
Wenham Shores.
Right, because this is the chimney. Yep, I know. I had the same argument, and I was told no.
And there's no doors that they would have
No.
taken off of on that
Okay.
side?
No.
None.
No.
Window.
All right.
No, but I wanted to be Plymouth Street and was told no.
Okay.
They reserved that for Dana over here.
Now,
Yep.
I do note that there was a letter received and put in our file from the current building commissioner.
Correct.
And in his opinion, this letter dated October 28, 2025, street frontage for zoning purposes should be measured from Plymouth Street. Even though the legal address is Wenham Shores. So I want to throw this discussion over to the board members and ask if they have any questions, first and only at this point, about the street address, because this is going to affect the zoning relief that the petitioner is requesting.
I had the same thoughts about the legality, which way the house is facing. I Googled it, saw the picture of the frontage, and everything to me looks, Plymouth Street should be the address. And so I can't understand why the town at that time decided that it was gonna be Wenham Shores instead.
Well, you built the house, right?
Correct?
There was no house on this lot previous, or was there?
No.
And this is, okay. All right. Ms. Dahl? What say you?
What are the ramifications if we consider that as Plymouth Street as our front door?
Well, it has to do with the relief that they're requesting, the dimensional relief.
No, yeah, I realize that, but like legally, could she change? Could she request now to change?
Well, it's been a long time since 1985. I suppose you
Exactly.
should go in and just say, hey, I want everything now Plymouth Street. Send me the taxes. No, don't send me the taxes. But
Send
make
those
sure
to
that
me.
whatever official mail I get from the town here on out is Plymouth Street and not Wenham Shores. Because this jumped out at me right away, as it did these other ones. Mr. Poirier?
I'm all set, we've covered.
Okay, so if we're past that discussion, I want to ask you about your plan to build. And either one of you can take it from here. I turn the floor over to you and discuss with us, please, what it is that you'd like to do and why.
So we are looking to put up an accessory building, 32 by 32. It is primarily used for storage and a place to park my truck at night out of the weather. I will enter from the Wenham Shores Drive section into the building. The building is situated in the backyard, and I think that discussion you just had with regards to the logistical address being Plymouth Street or the frontage has a lot to do with your bylaws stating that the building has to be behind the front of the house, correct?
The
So,
accessory building,
yeah,
yes.
so changing it to Plymouth Street definitely meets that because the building does jet out closer to Wenham Shores than what the side of the house does. So we acknowledge that. The problem I have with approaching it that way is that it changes the setback from a side setback from 30 to a rear setback of 50, which the building cannot meet. So that's part of the relief we're looking for, if we so choose to approach it that way.
Tell us a little bit about the structure itself, what you want to build,
The,
and
the structure is actually a very nice building, and if I actually have a picture of Dana's barn, which is very similar to what I'm looking to put up. Essentially, it's a nice wooden barn, pole barn / timber frame is the construction of it. It will have texture 111 like my shed in the backyard, so it will match aesthetically. It'll be a very nice building. It has a 10-foot sliding style barn door so the truck can go inside at night. It's not an unsightly metal building like you see all over the place. This will be aesthetically nice, fits into the neighborhood. I think everybody will be very happy with the outcome of what this barn looks like, what this garage looks like.
is it one story or two?
It actually has a loft in it.
And is this loft going to have a full floor?
Yes.
And your square footage, what you're asking for is greater than,
700.
yes, not only is it greater than 700, but the loft, if it's going to be a full floor, we have to count that square footage up there as well.
Okay. When you say full floor,
Not one of these lofts which you do
Duck
hippity
your
hop
head.
to the barber shop on,
Yeah.
where
Like,
it's
So you
just
can walk
beams.
through
you can walk
Yes.
through it.
yeah, it will have a ceiling where you can
Yeah,
walk through.
this is not, and we've had an ongoing discussion, if you will, with Town Hall about how to calculate square footage in relation to this particular bylaw, because we see a lot of garages, oversized garages, so-called oversized garages. And we've made it very clear that this board views full floors as additional square footage. So it's not just the footprint of the building, but rather it's the square footage of each floor in the building that must be calculated for bylaw purposes. So, when you say a loft, is it one of these lofts that you have to kind of lean down to walk through in the middle? of that floor, or is it a full loft where you can stand up straight and walk through from side to side?
Based on the design of the building with a proposed 8-pitch roof, you would be able to walk down the center of that loft without bending down.
What about on the edges, sides?
The edges, as you get close to the sides, you have to bend down.
Okay. And what would you say the square footage is up there? I would imagine it would be pretty close to the same square footage you have on the,
If you're
On the ground floor,
If
right?
you're considering floor square footage, then yes, it would be the same as the.
so your square footage right now is 1,024 feet as calculated on that first floor.
Correct.
I think it's another 1,000 square feet up there in the loft?
It's going to be a floor that's going to have the same dimensions as the
Same,
person.
same footprint
Yes,
essentially up
yeah.
there. So now you're 2,048,
Roughly.
roughly.
Okay.
So the relief that you need to do this building is double
Okay.
what it is that you thought it was going to be. Did anybody, when you applied, point out that we were now calculating second floors? Who'd you speak to down there?
Building commissioner.
How long ago?
I've had multiple conversations. This project actually started back in early 2025, and by the time the plot plan was done and all of these things fell into place, we've had probably maybe a half dozen conversations between then and now.
And he knew that you were doing a second floor.
Yeah.
Well, that complicates things a little bit for you, and I regret that you weren't advised of this in advance. This has been, again, an ongoing conversation with us and the building department about how square footage should be calculated. And the buck stops with us locally, so it's our word that eventually controls. And we've had this come up in many, many different petitions, haven't we, Ms. Dahl?
Yep.
And how long of a time frame has that occurred?
Well, we had a very public discussion with the building commissioner within the last 6 months. Yes. And we've notified everybody at town hall in the building department that this is how we view things. He knows this is why and how we view things. This is not a building footprint situation. This is a calculation based upon the square footage you have on each and every floor that you decide you want to construct, per the bylaw. So, you could say to me, well, I think that bylaw is very conservative in terms of the number of square feet that is allowed by right, which is only 700. And I would agree with you both. It is conservative, but that's what we're dealing with. Now, does that knock you out of the box tonight? Not necessarily. I'm just letting you know that the relief that you're going to require is about triple what the bylaw requires. The bylaw requires 700 and you're now at,
Almost 2,100.
yeah. You with me so far? Yes, okay. Did you bring any plan or drawing of the proposed garage with you?
I have a rough sketch of it.
Who did this sketch?
I did.
Well, I'd be happy to look at it, but generally we like to see something a little bit more than a rough sketch. Thank you. Oh, you're very good with the ruler.
Visio, Microsoft Visio is your friend.
Okay, so I'm gonna, why don't you guys look at it first, down there, and then Ms. Dahl and I will,
Okay.
that was the first page here.
All right.
No, Only one door, one barn door.
Yes. Actually, a side door, a 32-inch side door as well. I'm not sure if that's actually on there, I believe
Okay.
it is.
Just a quick question. I live across the street, Dana Wakefield.
Can we wait on the question
Sure.
until we get through the formal part of this, and then you can talk to us as much as you want?
First page.
First page.
Right.
So the stairs are outside to go upstairs? Okay,
What's that?
This is just
yep.
Yeah.
similar to the one.
There's no way to get up into the loft other than by
Just from
going
that
up
set
the
of
outside stairs?
Not based on that drawing, just that's.
Do you have a pull down inside the garage?
That wasn't proposed at this point.
Do
Would
you
there be a
have-
reason why I would do that?
Just access to upstairs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know, it gets icy, it gets snowy, you don't necessarily want to have your wife going up those stairs to get into the attic, or into the loft, right?
True.
Gentlemen, you done with these?
Yes.
So there's only one entrance to the upstairs?
Right now, yes.
Okay. Are you planning on adding another?
I wasn't going to, but if you think it's advantageous for this purpose, I consider putting a set of stairs inside the building.
Well, not necessarily for zoning, but for safety, I would think.
Yeah, and I'm under the impression, and this was, again, given to me by the building commissioner, that you weren't necessarily really interested in the particulars of the building, more so the plot plan would be discussed tonight, so, again, I.
Well, we started with that. We'll
Okay.
probably come back to it.
Okay.
Go through this one issue at a time.
So I'll lose a lot.
I beg your pardon.
I'll lose a lot here.
This is the final plan of what you want to build?
Very close. When I have additional conversations with the commissioner, he may require a change here or there, but essentially that's what I'm bringing.
Well, I'm not sure we can do it that way. We need to know what the final plan is.
Okay.
In other words, if we're granting relief, and we have to grant a considerable amount of relief to get this past the bylaws, we don't want you to say to us, well, you know, this is pretty close, I may change it. Or he may suggest that we change. You know what'll happen then? You're gonna have to come back before us.
Yeah.
You seem like a very nice man. I'd like for you to come back.
I have
Bring
no
pizza
inten-
and beer.
I have no intentions of changing that unless he forces me to make changes. And I think that if we're gonna talk about changes from his perspective, it's going to be the nuts and bolts, not necessarily the design of the
Okay.
building.
Has he indicated that you need to make changes?
No,
Okay.
Are you planning on bringing water into the building?
yes.
What have you done?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for showing us.
Yep.
Can we keep it?
Sure.
Usually we'll see a plan that would show if there's a bathroom, large storage area that has a door to get into it. So
This is a
normal,
very basic garage. I mean, essentially, it's gonna be wide open in the bottom and a loft up at the top that's gonna be used for minor storage. There's nothing fancy about this whatsoever.
It's still just the measurements that you have for like the actual plan of the building. So we usually look at the actual construction of the building as well.
And I want
So-
to, Ms. Dahl is correct and points out to me that you're going to lose some space up there given the angulation.
Right.
So speaking only for myself and not for Ms. Dahl or the gentleman to my left, I'd like for you at some point before we make a final decision to attempt to calculate what the real square footage is up there. And you'll have to think hard about how you want to do that, because I don't think it would be fair to you, against just speaking for myself, to say that this is another 1,024 square feet. What do you guys think?
Well, what I was gonna say is, you're implying usable
Yes.
square footage, because you're right. I mean, out at the edges there, if you've got I mean, I don't consider that usable square footage, so
Right.
you might want to think about how much of that, that area is actually gonna be,
Yeah, basically,
Of
if you
use.
have all the dimensions in the diagram of the pitch of the roof and all of that, we can kind of figure out how much actual usable space
Yeah.
you have.
Yeah. These three people up here have minds like steel traps. They can figure stuff out like this. So you come back to us with what you view to be usable space. We'll ask you a few questions, and then we'll be able to nail down exactly what it is that you need by way of zoning relief for the special permit, should we decide to grant it. You know, can see that the brain is working. You're trying to figure out how to do that,
No,
right?
I'm actually struggling with this conversation because I read the bylaws 3 times. And the issues that I anticipated coming here to discuss were essentially setbacks, buildings in the front of the primary residence.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
Okay. Nowhere in the bylaws does it go to the level of detail that we're talking about tonight.
Let me
So it
see
would
if
have
I
been
can.
helpful to have that in the bylaws so I could have been prepared for that.
You're doing fine. And,
Okay.
and let me just say this as well. When we decided as a board, and unanimously as a board, to calculate square footage not based upon the building footprint, but based on the floor square footage, we actually sent this out to legal counsel for the town and asked this question: what does the bylaw really imply here? And the answer came back that it's not building footprint, it's floor square footage.
And we're talking specifically about an outbuilding, not
Correct.
an occupied
Correct.
building.
Absolutely,
Correct?
yes.
Yep.
I just
Yeah.
want to be clear about that.
Yep.
What it sounds like you're saying sounds like it would be living space.
Well, it could be turned into living space, right? Let's say you get in the
lot.
doghouse one night, and she puts you
I'll
up
end up
there.
in the doghouse, I won't be in that luxury apartment.
But, yeah, we had, without getting into too much about what was going on a few months ago with the building department, I can tell you that we had a very firm conversation about the view of this board and how to calculate square footage. And it's not based upon the footprint of the house. It's based upon the footprint of the floors in the house.
In the garages.
Well, in the
Yeah.
garage. So let me just give you an example. We've had garages built in this town that are 3 stories high, right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
have 1 or 2 that are in the neighborhood.
Yes,
that have
yeah.
Full lofts.
3 stories high. Some of them with designed living space, playrooms and,
Man caves.
man caves
Women
and,
caves.
and women caves and caves for kids that don't want to be under the thumb of their parents. So what do? Do we calculate square footage in those situations just based upon putting a measuring tape around the garage itself? Or do we calculate based upon the square footage of all of the floors, all of the walkable floors? And it seemed to us, as well as legal counsel, that the appropriate approach was the latter, not the former. And we have advised the building department of this, and I apologize if you were not prepared for this discussion tonight. But it, as I said, it doesn't necessarily knock you out of the box. It just presents an issue that maybe you were surprised to have us tussling with at this early stage. So, again, I regret that this was not discussed with you ahead of
Let me try to get a little more
time.
clarification with this. If this was 1,200 or 1,100 square feet, and the allowable amount is 700 square feet. From a practical perspective, with you guys making your decisions, how does that weigh with regards to what's allowed and what's not? What is the impact to the neighborhood, the neighbors? I'm trying to understand where the square footage fits into the impact and the relief that you're attempting to give. That's what I'm trying to understand here.
I think you're putting a little bit the cart before the horse. We have got to calculate square footage first to see if it fits or doesn't fit within the bylaw. Now, we know even if we didn't calculate the square footage upstairs,
Right.
you're still over. You'd still
Correct.
need
Right.
relief.
Correct.
So you, at this juncture, you just need more relief than you anticipated,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
We could talk about the neighborhood and how it fits in, and we're going to, but we need to get through these
So you just
preliminary
need to
issues first.
Quantify the square footage for
Yeah.
the record.
Yes.
You're telling me? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, I get it.
okay. Okay.
But now we have to wait another month for a meeting.
Well, wait a minute, you're getting ahead of us.
So it does say under section 2245C, shall not exceed a floor area of 700 square feet. So the word floor is used
In the bylaw,
in the bylaw.
right.
Okay.
And again, I don't know whether I should apologize or not, but I think a lot of the confusion emanates from the building department, where this person has been calculating square footage based upon the building footprint and not the floor footprint.
Historically, that's the way it's been done all along, right?
No,
No.
No?
not all along. We have consistently calculated floor square footage, not building square footage. I think we can say that.
Well, yeah, and in some
That's
cases,
in here.
they were, some were permitted where the square footage of the ground floor was, let's say, 650, and there was no indication that they're taking into account the second floor. So if they had another 650 up top, that should have been 1,300. They weren't coming before the zoning board to get the special permit to do that.
Because they wanted to do the 700 based on what we.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So some people were actually getting an advantage out of that, even though the bylaw was not being enforced
Because
properly.
they didn't come before us.
So we're just trying to be consistent
Yeah.
from one, you know.
Okay. So that issue now, I think we've discussed, and I think it would probably be a good idea for you to calculate usable square footage up there,
Okay.
because as Ms. Dahl points out, she's correct, and this is advantageous to you. I don't think you're gonna need another 1,024 feet.
No.
Because you know, unless you're on your belly along the sides, you're not gonna be able to get over there,
Right.
right? Okay. And as you pointed out and recognize, given the positioning of the proposed construction, you need 19 feet from the rear line, because the bylaw requires that you have a 50-foot setback. So, you've got 31 feet now, you need another 19 feet, you understand? Yes. So, we always ask this question: is there anywhere else on this property that you could site this garage where you would not require the additional 19 feet? Because we always try to avoid having to break bylaws, and this is what you're asking us to do. You're asking us to break the law. So, talk to me about that.
So we've looked at this every way we can. The footprint for the parcel is a triangle. It's not a square. So
It looks kind of squarish to me.
it does, but it's actually a triangle. It's actually a triangle if you look at it from the front Plymouth Street, Wyndham Shores point to the back corner of the property line. It's actually triangular. And if you look at where the barn is situated, in relation to that rear property line, it's angular. So the more I go into the backyard, the greater that setback becomes, the greater the distance off of that line I can get. But unfortunately, I have all kinds of infrastructure back there, including septic system that takes up the entire backyard. And then the footprint of the house obviously stops me from bringing it up as well. So I'm very limited where I can put the barn with regards to those two things.
I see squiggly lines here. What do the squiggly lines represent?
Squiggly lines.
Is that a fence?
I believe that's a fence.
Do you have
This
is
is
your
def-
whole backyard fenced in, or, no?
No. This is actually a fence over here.
Or what is this?
I'm not really sure what that is. This is a fence. There is no fence here. I'm not sure. That's gonna be edge of grass. So this is all woods.
Okay. And you have a concrete pad, two concrete pads
So
back
this
here.
is a raised patio with walls, and then it drops down to another pad here, and the septic system sits in here and leaches out into both corners of the yard.
And you have a concrete pad in back of where the barn is going to be?
That is correct. And actually,
What is that concrete pad going to be used for?
it's currently being used as a dog pad, a dog kennel.
You have a concrete pad back there now then, correct?
Correct.
What kind of dog you got?
Llewellyn setter.
Nice.
You know what that is?
I
Most
gr-
people don't.
I-
Hunting dogs.
Yeah,
Hunters,
I
yes.
grew up with English Springer Spaniels.
Beautiful dogs.
Yes, they are. Okay, so what you're telling us is that this entire area in the back is septic
Septic.
and leaching.
Yes.
So is there any part of this in the back, and you got a pretty good sized backyard there, that is usable?
Not for a building, though. They've taken up the entire backyard with 2 leaching Sweetwater tanks and then a primary tank. There's no room to do anything back there.
That's a pretty big system. You need that big of a system?
That's what they built back in 1985.
Wow.
So everything outside the squiggly lines in the back, that's wooded area.
Yes.
And I see you have a shed on one side,
Correct.
and then you have another shed that's kind of half on, half off.
That's Joanne's shit.
Oh, that's fine.
It's over the line a little bit.
We just found out after 53 years of living there.
Oh, jeez.
So the person speaking is Joanna Layton, who I have known for many years and appreciate, and she's on the redevelopment authority. And she's been a contributor to the town and has been generous with her time for many years. Thanks for coming tonight. Now, you mentioned that you're going to get into the barn through Wyndham Shores Drive.
Correct.
Is that right? Is it Wyndham Shores Drive or Road?
Drive.
Well, it's listed here as Road.
Road.
That's changed too, right, since 1985? And
So
do we see a driveway off of Wyndham Shores
No,
Road?
it's just a dirt drive at this point. There's no pavement or anything like that.
Okay.
is it consistent with the front of the house, or is it coming in?
Comes in from the side towards the back of the house. So if you see the deck on the back of the house,
Yes,
So you're gonna come in from here?
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, we'll come in through here.
Okay. so
Everybody
that's-
see
so
that?
that's where
I
the
didn't.
new,
All right, can you pass that over?
yep,
Or actually, you don't have to.
okay.
You're coming in over here, boys.
Got it.
See that, Jim?
Yep.
Pivot at the barn, it looks like you have a little bit more room to kind of come in. Can you pivot this in more?
What I can do is I have about 4 feet, maybe 5 feet, that I can encroach over this fence line,
Okay.
thereby giving you more here and more there. So we can do that. In fact, I have a version of that drawn up, but it wasn't stamped by Webby, so I didn't submit it.
Okay.
But that is advantageous for both of those purposes. And we
Yeah,
can
and
do
it
that.
reduces the amount of relief we have to give you from
Correct.
19 feet to,
Yeah, the more you
Something
can
less.
slide that over.
we have about 4 feet before we're right on top of the septic system.
well, we don't want to get on top of the
No,
septic
we don't.
system,
I can't.
because
Okay.
then you would have issues.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, so we've discussed that. I want to talk to you about height,
Okay?
which is also pertinent to the bylaws. And I don't know if this was discussed with you when you came in with this proposal to the building department. But
I don't specifically remember that, but I do remember reading the bylaws of the maximum of 20
Yeah.
feet, and I know it's not gonna be taller than that.
Okay, that was gonna be my question, is the height of this barn at its pinnacle gonna be higher than the pinnacle of your residence?
Too
Is it gonna be the same or lower?
lower.
Remember, be good, otherwise she's gonna make you sit on the pinnacle of the garage when it's cold out.
That's one of the reasons we
You
look
spare room
for
I can
the,
The shed.
that's why we look for the plans that tells
Yeah.
us specifically
That
what
we-
the height is at the peak. Because that way, when we go to, if we're gonna okay it, you can't change it.
We approve it based on your plans, basically, is what it is.
I can only tell you what I was told, and again, I
I
was
know,
told that
no,
you were mostly interested in the
apologize for
plot
that.
plan and not
Yep, no,
so much concerned about the building at all. So, my apologies.
no, 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 our
You weren't
apologies.
told.
That's not your fault.
Nope,
It's
not
not-
on you.
But as I've said, we've had this discussion many times. They know what they should be saying to you. And if they haven't, because they are busy that day or for whatever reason,
They were giving out chocolate for Halloween one day.
Ah,
The kids are over from the elementary.
okay, so that answers the height question. Are you gonna have heat in this garage?
Not initially. I am putting radiant tubing in the concrete pad for potentially down the road.
But that's outside. That's not gonna be enclosed, that concrete pad,
No,
right?
that would be.
No, no, no.
Or are we talking about the concrete pad inside the garage?
Yes,
So you're expecting to do radiant heating in the floor?
maybe. But for $600 to put tubing in, it seemed like a foolish thing not to do at this stage in the game. It doesn't cost me very much.
Well, we have to make sure you're warm if you're gonna be sleeping in there.
the floor of your garage will be warmer than the inside of your house with that thing going, won't it?
I don't know.
What about plumbing? You gonna have plumbing inside the garage or not?
The only thing I'm gonna have is a water spigot. I do have dogs.
Outside.
That are outside, so it would be nice not to have to fight with a frozen hose every day to water them, so that's the intent.
Do
So-
they get to be inside?
The inside. He said inside those.
You said you're gonna have a spigot inside?
Inside the garage, yes.
So it is gonna
doesn't
have to be
freeze.
plumbed to some degree.
There will be a line coming from the house to feed that.
That, yeah, that's what I was.
And lighting, I wanna know where your lighting is gonna be. Is it gonna be outside lighting?
It would. Usually they put the lights and stuff on the plans. Again, that's,
Yeah, to be honest with you, I really hadn't got that far. To be honest with you, basic lighting, probably fluorescent lighting in the garage, and there might be one,
Something
fluorescent-
outside
Fluorescent light
Yeah.
outside,
Yeah.
a security light of some sort, but that's about it.
facing,
Facing Plymouth Street.
And
So-
down.
So if you picture the way this is, you won't be coming in off of Wenham Shores directly into the barn. You'll be coming into off of Wenham Shores and then taking a 90-degree angle into the front of the barn. So the front of the barn or garage would be facing Plymouth Street, not Wenham Shores.
Got it.
So that light would be on the front of that barn facing Plymouth Street, or my house,
If you have a light.
if I have it.
I think those were my initial questions. Does anybody have anything else that they would like to go over with these nice people? Mr. Poirier, you have anything?
Mike
Mr. Barrington?
covered most of it.
You covered a lot of the questions that I had. I just would like to see a detailed plan before.
Ms. Dahl?
same.
Does anybody want to do a visit? Or are we good?
Do you think
I'm okay.
Or,
Yeah.
What?
No.
Don't? Mr. Poirier, he's all-knowing. Do you want to do a visit or are you good?
I think I'm good.
Ms. Dahl?
I think I'm okay.
Okay. All right, so Mrs. asked a question of us a few minutes ago, and that is, do we have to wait another month? When were you thinking of beginning construction if we grant you the relief you need?
Pending weather this winter, I'd be starting this winter.
Right. So if this were to be put off to our next visit, it wouldn't mess up your construction plans.
No, I mean, she works out of town, I work out of town, so we don't spend a lot of time in town, so we just have to make arrangements for these things, that's all.
That's okay. Well, you've heard Ms. Dahl say more than once now that she'd like to see a plan for the garage. Is that true? Not something that
Yeah.
you happen to draw
Well,
on
I
your
think
own?
that would help us with square footage and give us a better idea of exactly how many square feet you need for relief, and then as well as if you could pick
the
the
building up.
proposed building a little bit, you're gonna decrease how many feet you need, and if you could get it under 10,
Under 10?
yeah, for, like, you're looking for 19. So, I don't know how many,
Well, why don't we do that? Why don't you try to do what you can?
yeah, see where it will fit, even if you could stake it out just as close as you could get, and
Okay.
see anything that you can take off of.
You may be able to move it over a little bit more than you're giving yourself credit for right now, because this is a really, this is a really large septic area, leaching field. So you might be able to move it over a few more feet before that leaching field and septic area begins.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm tight to it right now.
Okay, will you do what you can?
Right.
Can you do that? And,
Can I ask a question? We've introduced a 50-foot setback because we've logically assigned Plymouth Street as the address. We agree on that?
for purposes of zoning, yes.
Why wouldn't we look to just relieve me of the perception that the barn is in front of the house on Wyndham Shores, when in actuality, it's not?
So what are you asking?
What I'm suggesting is, we are assigning the address Plymouth Street, but that changes the setback on that back boundary from a 30 to a 50.
True.
So you have to do two things in order to get to that point.
Yes,
With that barn situated the way it is, 31 feet off of that side setback,
Right.
I meet that criteria in the bylaw already. And the building is behind the front of the house, so I meet that criteria in the bylaw as well.
I think what you're suggesting is that we give you two different addresses here for zoning purposes,
No, I'm suggesting that we operate off of 2 Wyndham Shores, the actual address,
rather than Plymouth Street?
yes, because the barn is not in front of the primary resident, it's behind it. The bylaw does not address a corner lot. This presents a unique issue that I don't think you deal with very often, to be honest with you.
We've dealt with this before. The problem is that the building commissioner, your friend the building commissioner,
My friend.
is on record in writing saying in his opinion for zoning purposes, this is a Plymouth Street address.
And that was his suggestion. I didn't necessarily agree with that.
And I don't think he's off on that because the front of the house faces Plymouth Street.
I agree. And the barn is definitely behind
Yes, it
the
is.
house, though. So
Yes.
that meets that bylaw requirement as
Yes.
far as the outbuilding being behind the
Yeah.
front of the house.
I mean, this lot has limitations. You
Yes.
can twist and turn and change an address and move this here and that there. But it's, and I should have said this to you before, for dimensional variances, these fall under something called Massachusetts General Laws 40A, Chapter 40A. And in order for us to break the local law, to break the bylaw, the petitioner must demonstrate to our satisfaction that there is something unusual about one or more of three different things. Shape of the lot, not size, shape, soil, or topography.
Right.
Now it seems to me, and just me, and I'm talking a lot here on this issue, but you guys chime in. It seems to me that you can show two things here that puts you in a situation where you're in a bit of a hardship in terms of what you're trying to do. One is the shape of the lot, and the other one is the soil, because we're talking about that large area in the back where you've got the leaching field and septic system.
Correct.
So for me, I think you qualify, potentially, depending upon how the rest of us vote, for the dimensional relief in the back,
Okay.
so long as you adopt Ms. Dahl's suggestion, which is to minimize the amount of relief that we would be
I understand.
compelled to give you under the circumstances.
I understand.
Okay? But I think more work needs to be done here for two things. One, I think we need to see a more defined plan,
Okay.
right? Everybody agree on that?
For the building, yeah.
Yeah, can I just,
Yes.
just speak to, so, assuming we go through and you get everything you're asking for, there's gonna be some conditions that you're gonna have to satisfy that's moving forward. And one of the first things that's gonna say in there, on the building, what's the word, of record, the,
Plans of record.
the plans of record. Because we've had people say, well, no, or they come up with plans, and then we find out that they went and changed the plans, okay? So that's part of the reason why maybe if it seems like we're being a little bit stickler about wanting to see those plans, that's part of the reason. So that's gonna be one of the conditions, that's what it's gonna be based upon, the plans as we've seen them in conjunction with whatever relief we're giving you. We just wanna make sure that we're all in
All on the
agreement
same
on
page.
there, so.
Okay, that's one thing. And then the other thing is, do what you can about assessing the square footage up there in the loft area on that second floor. Because I don't think you need another 1,024 square feet. You're not gonna be able to get over there all the way,
No, it's
Right.
not all usable.
not all usable.
So if you have the roof dimensions for the inside, then you can kind of calculate, we all can calculate from that.
Yeah, we'd be able to tell the roof to that floor, there's only 4 feet there.
Right.
Or there's 10 feet.
So what would your definition be of usable space? Area you can clearly walk through standing up?
Mhm.
That'd be logical?
Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
We try to be logical.
Yeah.
We really try.
Appreciate that.
Can I ask a quick question pertaining?
Yeah, in a moment. Do you have a builder picked out?
I'm building.
You're building, you're gonna do it
He's
yourself?
gonna help me. He doesn't know it yet, but
Oh.
he's gonna help me.
Okay, well, great. That's great.
Yeah, it's gonna be, I'm looking forward to it. Like Dave said, it's a pole barn / timber frame, so it's a little bit of an art to it, you know? There's milling and that type of thing that goes on as far as the framing and the structure. So it's something I've always wanted to do, and I look forward to doing it.
Good for you. And your wife is sitting there quietly thinking, would he please hurry up and get this thing done? Besides the car that you're gonna put in there, what other stuff are you gonna put in there?
Maybe a boat. If that doesn't fit, then I have a snowmobile that goes in. And then some miscellaneous carpentry tools.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Okay.
What are you anticipating going upstairs?
Maybe some hunting.
Besides yourself.
Paraphernalia. Maybe some hunting paraphernalia, like.
More storage, in other words?
Yeah, light storage.
Yeah.
Man stuff?
Yeah.
Pancake.
Man stuff. But then I don't know, once she sees it done, she.
Well,
might
that's
put
right.
Christmas trees and everything else up there.
Like women's stuff.
There's a lot of Christmas and crafts, so,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Not to be used for living space or residential purposes, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Mr. Wakers has been very patient.
I'm just curious, I live across the street in a colonial, 2-story colonial.
Mhm.
And my attic, which I use for storage, is not calculated in my square footage.
How long ago was it built?
I built it in 2022. I'm sorry, 2002.
Can I
So-
show 'em that?
So 20,
Yeah.
23 years ago.
Yeah.
It's
but I-
Dana's barn. It'll be similar to that.
Okay.
Very nice.
But it's attic storage as well as my basement. I mean, you're calculating square.
I don't know
build a
what,
house is
I don't know
20
what
years.
the attitude was of the board at that time or the building commissioner at that. We've been through about 5 different building commissioners in the last few years.
So you
It's
build
been a
house
revolving
nowadays,
door.
The attic is added into the square footage
Yeah.
on your tax bill?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's added on the tax bill, but it's added on for zoning
They have to
purposes.
educate the assessors. He forgot to tell you that.
See, I'm trying to be
Politically correct.
kind.
Yeah, kind.
Yeah, and you heard from Mr. Barrington, it's square footage based on the floor. It's right there in black and white. So why it's been considered otherwise for many years ago,
Yeah.
I don't even want to begin to speculate. That's a long time. That's a million years ago now, 2002.
Yeah.
Although you look like a young man.
Thank you.
I wish.
Ms. Dahl, any further questions?
No, just to see what you could do with positioning and getting the most square footage as tight as you can.
So right,
I was trying to avoid spending $2,000 on an architect.
Yeah.
Is this something that I can do on my own as far as putting dimensions and stuff on the existing plans? I mean, this is a low-budget bond, so to speak. I'm trying to do this for a budget, and spending $2,000 for engineering of steel beams and LVLs and
I understand.
architecture is not helping.
we get this
Does the building
argument all the
inspector
time from
require-
folks. We're sensitive to the fact that this is expensive,
Yeah.
right? Your wife is sitting next to you, she wants you to get this done. So I throw it back to the board members, what is it that you want to see by way of a plan here? Do you want him to get a formal drawing from an architect or not? Because otherwise he is, I would think more likely than not, going to come back to with something very similar to what he gave us tonight to look at.
Is that,
I mean,
was,
you're looking
was
for
that,
dimensions and such, are you
Yeah.
not?
Yes.
I can add those to the
was that
existing.
acceptable for the building department?
Yes.
And he said that just based on those drawings, he was content with what you were gonna build?
Again, we were going to meet again after this meeting, and then fine tune that for additional detail that he might need.
Okay, well then I think you should do that. Fine tune it, get the detail on there
Yeah.
that Ms. Dahl in particular would like to see, and Mr. Barrington and Mr. Poirier as well. And then you come back before us, and we'll see if this is sufficient or not. Now, I have the ability as board chair to access your filings ahead of a public meeting like this. So if I see something come through that we're requesting at this point tonight, and I feel that it's not detailed enough, then we'll let you know or attempt to let you know in advance of our next meeting so that any deficiencies can be rectified. So you don't have to come back and forth twice.
Okay.
How's that sound?
I would appreciate that.
Yeah, sure.
So the building commissioner is gonna sign off on
On the
whatever
drawing,
plans he's gonna
yep, whatever
come up
plans
with.
you have him sign off on what it is that you wanna propose to us.
Will he do that without a vote from you first, though?
He's not gonna issue a building permit until he gets a vote from us. We're the final legal authority.
But you should be aware of everything that he's gonna expect from you ahead of time anyways.
And
So
that's
if
why
he's-
you're gonna have the
So if
meeting.
he's gonna wanna have the measurements for the LVLs and all that stuff, like, you're probably gonna wanna know all that ahead of time anyways.
Yeah, at that level, there's quite a bit of that detail actually in those plans that I gave
Mhm.
him.
So, it sounds to me like you're already on second base heading towards third on this. It's just a matter of tightening things up
Yep.
and satisfying the rest of us with additional details. And you can request of the folks in the building department to get me a copy of whatever it is that you eventually put on file, because you're gonna need to put it on file, right? So that they can send it to me and I can look at it and make sure that it's got the detail that we're looking for.
Okay.
And then the other thing, of course, is to get a usable square footage measurement for that second floor. That should not be onerous at all.
Okay.
Now, I did want to say that the board has received 2 letters of support, one from a Rachel and Sean Coburn, or either one of those people here with us tonight, and another one from Dana and Renee Waitkus. I know Mr. Waitkus is sitting there in the front, looking very serious. He's good. And both of these letters, without having to read them word for word, indicate that they are in favor of your project. So we take note of that, and we will make them part of the board file.
Yep.
So I think we're at a point now where we can talk about our next date, which will not be in December.
Did you ask if anybody in the audience?
Oh, yes.
Do we ask questions?
You may ask one question.
Just one. You know,
I know you. She's lovely, by the way. She knows I'm teasing. Go ahead.
Well, I am their next door neighbor on this side where that pad is gonna be, the concrete pad.
Yeah.
And I'm just questioning, what's 19 feet? Is that my lot line?
When you say,
I'm the lady that has the shed that's going on your lot. If you look at it, I printed that out. My son Zachary gave me.
all right,
So what is?
would you like me to go to you so that I can show you this map, and then you can ask me?
I think I have a little bit of it because Ron sent it to my son.
Let me get up and show you this.
Well, let me ask my question, and here's my question. And these people know that. At some point, I'm gonna sell my house.
You gonna leave the town?
I am, seriously.
Are the cops after you?
No, but you would be. The question I have is, and I wanted to ask about this 19 feet away, is it from my property? But my question was, and I wrote it down, how will this 32 by 32 foot barn, and assuming if it was 19 feet away from my property, affect me from being able to sell my property? The second part of that question is, will the size and the being 19 feet from my property make me lower the value of my property in order to sell?
Okay, that's the same question, but let me show you this map.
Turn it around.
Where is your property? Over here?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so the
fine.
19 feet that they need is here.
It's already 31 feet from your property line.
Right. See the 31 there?
They're asking for 19 more.
Right.
You're asking for 19 more?
Yeah, so
Because
the
50
bylaw, hold on, bylaw requires a 50-foot setback from the
Oh.
rear lot line.
Where's it gonna get then?
You would have to get it from us. So what he's gonna try to do, per Ms. Dahl's recommendation, is move it over and maybe up a little, and perhaps he won't need 19 feet at that point, maybe you'll only need 12.
Is the button, I just wanna ask Ron, he parks his car here and he goes in and out of his door. He's gonna come here and he's gonna come here and he's gonna park his truck
No,
in
I
that
think he said
door?
you're coming in here, this way, right?
Where's the door?
We're gonna come in straight to the chimney of the house and take a 90 and go into the building. So the road's
In
gonna
other
be
words, there
way
won't
up.
be any turning down in this area here.
Okay, so this will be all wood, and of course I'm assuming that's for the dogs,
Yes.
right? Oh, no problem. That's probably where it is today, isn't it?
What?
Is your pad where the dogs are? Isn't that where they are today?
That's where they are now. That is the pad with the dogs are,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
So
Yes,
what we're
yes.
proposing is we're proposing to slide the building over a little bit over the fence line.
Okay.
Which gets you off of your property line further and off of the street further.
Okay,
So that's what I'm gonna attempt to do.
okay, that's fine.
Good?
I just have to sell my house, that's all. And I don't wanna take a lower value, that's for
Well,
sure.
let me address that part of your question.
Excuse me?
I said, let me address that part of your question.
Oh, yes, please.
How this might affect the fair market value of your property in view of the fact that you want to sell it. Who knows? Right? Market conditions, who knows? You have a nice house. By all accounts, they have a nice property, well kept. So we take all of this into account when we consider whether to issue a special permit. Okay? And let me bring up the special permit requirements so that you understand what it is that we need to be looking at. Can anybody find this quickly for me? I'm still looking at the old book here. I got it.
Okay.
108, page 108. We have to look at the following criteria. First, the social, economic, or community needs which are served by the proposal. Second, traffic flow and safety, including parking and loading. Third, adequacy of utilities and other public services. Fourth, neighborhood character and social structures. Fifth, impacts on the natural environment. And sixth, potential fiscal impact, including impact on town services, tax base, and employment. So we look at all of this, and if it's keeping in the natural character of the existing neighborhood without impacting anybody in a demonstrably negative way, then That's a good thing. So if they
That's
can,
not the character of Wenham Shores.
if we can move, or if he can move this over away from your property and away from Wenham Shores Road,
Further towards the front even.
that will hopefully make this project less onerous in terms of its impact on your property.
So the back of that barn is gonna be totally all wood up and down, no windows, no nothing. It's just gonna be a big wooden structure for me to look at. I'm not opposed to it. I mean, he has dogs today and everything's fine. His wife gets after him. And she will.
There's 2 windows in the back of the building.
Oh, okay. And she will, I trust her.
Now, along the back lot line, is that wooded back there?
We're about roughly 30 feet wide of woods between Joanne's house and ours.
So it's going to be shielded to some
Not-
degree.
No, my trees are not shielded. We go across. I see those dogs when I go outside today.
Yeah.
Those trees, there are some trees, but it's not tight.
Well, one of the things that could be considered, and we have considered this before in these situations, is trying to make sure that there is some sort of green shielding that goes on, but I don't know if you're talking about high stuff, or
You need to take a visit. Why don't you guys come and visit?
are you going to bring pizza and
Oh, yeah, sure.
pizza and beer out?
Well, no, we'll have her make cookies. She's a great cook.
I believe it. My mouth is watering already. But this board has already decided that they don't think that they need a site visit unless, based on what you're now hearing, you maybe have changed your mind. I don't know. I throw it back up to you folks.
I don't see where it would be practical to put like arborvitaes or something like that there, because they're not gonna grow tall enough to really impact.
Yeah, that would be my concern too.
You've got mature
How
woods
far
between the two.
Are you from?
I'm next door.
No, like, just like feet wise, like,
My backyard is their backyard. That's my backyard.
But where the barn is going, there is a section of woods that's about 20 or 30 feet wide that has mature woods in it, mature trees. So when they green up, there's some cover there.
What about on the Wenham Shores side? Is there any coverage there, or is that going to be easily observable from Wenham Shores?
Between the street and the barn,
Yeah.
on the garage, that would be open. There's only one or two trees there that would remain.
Okay. What else you got?
I don't have anything else. I just, that was my concern. I just, I'm definitely gonna sell my house, relocate with my son to Lakeville with my 2 grandkids at some point, and I wanna be able to sell my house.
When are you moving?
My house is assessed at.
After she
assessed
moves her barn off my property.
at. My house is assessed at $488,600. I don't plan on, I pay high taxes, and I don't plan on trying to reduce it, and I don't want somebody to say, oh, well, I don't want to be there.
No, it's a legitimate concern.
Excuse me.
But your value may go up if his value goes up by adding this to the property.
And again, it's not a metal building, it's a very nice,
The value will
Yeah.
go up based on the amount of taxes that the town will be charging you for that, not because it's the best place to be.
Well, when somebody puts an addition on
I mean, the
on
man
the
across,
property,
but in my backyard, I don't have a problem, but the man in my backyard, he has, what, 4 acres, Ron? Something like that, right?
Yeah,
And he's
anyways,
got this huge, what do you call that, you call that a barn? It's all made out of
it's a metal building.
metal.
Yeah.
And Ron's not doing that. And he's got trucks, and he's got horses, and he's got everything. He's also got, off my street, a high tension wire, because the, Mr. McGuire on my property went and got a permanent easement. I tried because there was fires, nobody, what do you call it, people that come, they're supposed to cut the trees and everything off the line, they don't come.
Eversource.
And all of a sudden, boom, the leaves are brown and the fire starts.
Oh.
Now, I haven't gone over to that man, and I plan on doing it, and asking him if he'll take he'll take his electricity from the street. I mean, you know, I got 2 grandkids out my backyard, they live there, playing basketball under this wire, you know, come on. So, I just wanna make sure that's a detriment right there for me. Ron and Karen are they're clean and neat, and they're better than me. I mean, Karen came and rearranged my house. Unfortunately, it went back to the same as it was, but I just want to be able to know that if I sold my house, that wouldn't be a detriment, that's all.
Well, I'll say this, you know that there's a housing shortage now, right? People are looking for houses, affordable. Yours seems to me to be in that range of affordable houses.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I don't know, who can tell, but I think you're gonna be in fine shape.
I think so. Put a little more greenery.
Yeah. I
Make it
think-
like a green fence or something.
I think it's gonna be less to do with that barn that goes up than other factors. I have a daughter who was trying to buy a house and is a single wage earner, and it's a difficult thing to do because there's so few houses available. Every one that she looked at, there was a bidding war. You know, she got outbid,
That's why
so,
kids are moving back home
yeah.
after they're done with
Well,
school.
what do you think my son lives in? For other reasons, but, and 2 kids.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's hard for kids. It's so hard. Anyway, thank you for your contribution, as usual.
Think you,
Nice to see you again.
same here, sir.
Anybody else have any questions, comments, or issues they'd like to discuss with us? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Susan Locke, Edward Road. I just
I
wanted to
know you, Susan.
Hi. Ron, where will you put the kennel?
The kennel's really not moving. The pad, you mean?
No, the fenced-in area, which is near Wenham Shores.
So that's not gonna change very much. That's gonna get cut in half because the barn's gonna eat up some of that.
Oh.
But that will back up to the barn. I anticipate, and I haven't really thought about it much, but I anticipate probably having a doggy door, so the dogs can go in the building at will, which will cut out less traffic outside, especially in inclement weather, when her and I are at work and they're outside, they could easily go in the barn and we don't have to
How many dogs you got?
fight.
Oh my goodness. What are their names?
Where are they?
What are their names? I want to know too.
That's,
Do you remember their names? Can you tell them apart?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
We have Denali, Blaze, Pippa, Tucker, and Sadie.
Which one's your favorite?
Oh, they're all our favorite.
Stop it.
They all live in our house. They're all our favorite.
These are beautiful dogs, by the way. Gorgeous dogs.
They're great family dogs.
Yep. They bark a lot.
Well, not anymore because we put bark collars on them, so there's only one that's a little young that I can't put a bark collar on, but the others.
What's a bark collar? Give them a little shock when they bark?
If they're incessantly barking, then it causes them to get a jolt, yes, and it shuts them up.
See, I hope you never meet my wife, because I think she'd probably want to put one of those around me.
Well, we did it for the neighbors.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good
have
thing.
you tried the citronella ones? The ones that have like a scent,
And I'm not sure how they work. What do you plan?
but they spray them when they bark. It kind of sprays like a little mist.
Oh, is
It
that
does,
right?
yeah, it does the same thing, except they don't get the shock end of it. So,
Susan, are you satisfied with that answer
Yes.
for now?
Thank you.
Nice to see you again. All right.
So we
Back
need
up here.
we need a motion.
First, I want to ask Mr. Barrington if he has anything he'd like to say.
Nothing additional.
Mr. Poirier, who's always ready to go for a motion.
I'm good.
Ms. Dahl.
good.
So, do I hear a motion to continue this case to our next meeting date? And we'll discuss what that is in a moment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. So we're gonna go over to the next hearing date. They're celebrating in the back, I don't know why. And
Schoolgirls.
now we have to decide what our next date is going to be. And
Can I ask him Ron a question here first?
Yeah.
So, to do whatever, the things that we've asked you to do, how much time is that?
Until I meet with the building commission, I don't know what the
Okay.
scope of that
All
actually
right.
would be with regards to updating.
Because
tomorrow.
obviously, we want to pick a date that's going to move this along as quickly as possible, but we also want to make sure, particularly with the holidays coming up, sometimes it's harder to get to meet with people. So I just want to make sure
I
we,
mean, if we could shoot for, 4 or 5 weeks out, that would be
okay,
time I would think for
Yeah, I
myself.
wouldn't think before the middle of January. I mean, the reason we're in here tonight is because all of the rooms at Town Hall are being used by other boards and committees, because nobody is meeting next week, right? And then after that, you've got Christmas week, and then you've got the week between Christmas and New Year's, which nobody does anything, and then we're into January.
Yep.
So,
This week.
what do you think, folks?
How about January 20, 21st, or 22nd? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
How about the last week?
The last week is 27, 28, and 29. Tuesday, Wednesday,
yeah, the
Thursday.
21st isn't good for me anyway, so.
He's busier in retirement than he was when he was working. Ms. Dahl, 27, 28, 29. We usually try to do Wednesdays, right, Mark?
Yes,
So what day is that Wednesday?
that's 28.
28.
28. Does that work for you, Mr. Barrington?
Yes.
Ms. Dahl?
How about you folks?
No?
Yes?
It doesn't work for Ms. Dahl.
No?
No. She just made a face.
Um,
So 27?
27 work, Anita?
Um,
Is the whole week bad? Or,
yeah. Let's do the 29th, you said?
Yep.
All right.
Is that a Thursday?
That's
Yeah.
a Thursday.
Is that okay for you? Seriously?
Yeah. We should be.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna-
so Thursday the 29th, we're
Yep.
on agreement?
Yeah. And keep an eye on the website, because we may be back in our usual digs and not in this building. So we'll continue to January 29th, and you know what you need to be doing. Just those two things that we asked for. Square footage measurement upstairs, usable space, and then a bit of a repositioning on the garage. Anything else they need to be doing, or are we good?
No, I think those are.
Because we don't want to
the
ask,
days.
we don't want them to get back in here and then end
Right.
up having to ask them for more info.
Right.
So is there anything else that anybody wants to see them do?
Nope, just as long as they scoot up and over as far as you can.
Yeah, and we need, we need a more detailed plan.
Yep.
Yeah.
So thank you for your patience this evening. Nice to see you both. Mr. Wakis, thank you for participating. Ladies in the back, nice to see you. Don't leave town anytime soon, especially without calling me first.
I'll bring the 5 dogs to the next meeting so you can play in the back.
Susan,
Good
hopefully
night.
everything is going well for you.
Yes, thank you.
To see it.
Thank you.
Good holiday.
You too.
And do we have something we need to sign for you girls?
If you don't mind. If you don't mind.
You can't get this kind of entertainment just anywhere, can you?
We'll be at the next meeting.
Oh, very good.
Oh.
Return engagement.
Just this one.
This one here?
Yeah.
So what do you need, just down here?
Yes.
Where would you like me to sign it?
Hours completed, we'll say an hour and a
Okay.
half,
Yes.
right?
Yes, thank you.
A print and a signature? Or
Yeah.
just, okay.
I think you need to print your name too.
I'll do
It's okay.
I'm putting down 90 minutes for them. Hours completed, 1.5. Okay?
Yes.
And what's today anyway, the 16th?
12, 16?
Yes.
Yeah, 12, 16.
So you all go to Carver High School, do you?
Yeah. We do.
What year?
How's
are
the
you guys?
basketball
We're
team doing?
sophomores. Good.
Are you?
We have our first game tomorrow.
Oh, so the regular season has not started yet?
No, not for us.
Who
Who are you gonna be?
Westport.
Oh, nice.
Westport, yeah.
Okay, well, good luck with that, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Enjoy the holidays.
You too.
Thank you.
See you back at the end of January,
Yep.
I know, yeah.
assuming there isn't a game.
There better not be.
What class is this for?
History.
Oh, good.
Thank you so much.
All righty.
Bye.
Bye.
Is that his? Oh, that's the plan, Steve. You used that for a set of plans.
I hope Santa Claus is good.
If you've been good.
This is mine. This is yours.
Yeah.
This is an extra. I don't know if we want to give that back to them, just because.
Okay, so I think the only other thing that we need to do now is adjourn formally. I have no correspondence that I want to bring to anybody's
Okay.
attention and no other issues.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
Does anybody else have any issues or correspondences they want to bring to my attention?
No.
Mr. Poirier,
Motion to adjourn.
second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night, Carver.